Dana White, there's a lot of material, and I could have done the whole song and dance where we offered receipts. I could have done that where I played the clips. I could have done the whole thing. I'm not going to do that because I do want to tread lightly here because this is somewhat personal. But here's the bottom line. 2014, Dana White is talking about a domestic violence situation involving Ray Rice, the former Baltimore Raven. He was asked how he would handle this situation. He said, quote, "We've been human beings and letting these guys, other guys, make up for what they've done and come back. There's one thing that you never bounce back from, and that's putting your hands on a woman. Been that way in the UFC since we started here. You don't bounce back from putting your hands on a woman." End quote. He said that. That's his quote. It's on camera. You can find it. And so my question to all of you is, why does he get to bounce back? Why does he get to bounce back? He said it himself. You don't bounce back from hitting a woman, from putting your hands on a woman. And let's be honest, they have let other people bounce back since then. Most notably, John Jones, who was involved in his own domestic violence situation in September of 2020. And now we're talking about him fighting in a big fight. And there are so many others. Abel Trujillo, the late Anthony Johnson, Luis Pena. Now, usually what happens in the UFC when it comes to these issues, depending on where you are in the pecking order, if you're below, a certain line, you will get released, you will be reprimanded. If you're at a certain level, you'll usually get, you'll get away with it, scot-free. If Endeavor, if the UFC, if they do nothing here, and let me be clear, as I've said before, I am not a fan of cancel culture. I'm not a fan of, you make one mistake or something like that, whatever you want to call it, and you're done for life. You're erased from history. But I am a fan of accountability. I am a fan of, having to pay for your actions. Just because you're not a fan of cancel culture doesn't mean you're not a fan of accountability. Like, there has to be some repercussions. I'm a fan of that. What kind of message are you sending the fighters on your roster, the employees who work for you, if you can be caught on camera striking a woman, which again, I believe full stop, it doesn't matter if you got struck 10 times. You don't strike a woman. That's just the way I believe. That's the way I was brought up. Those are my values. What kind of message are you sending to your fighters, to your employees, if that goes unpunished? If that goes away without any repercussion? What kind of message is that? Because I can assure you it will happen. It happens in other sports. It's happened in boxing very, very recently. Look up Gervonta Davis. What happens then when the next guy does something or gal does something, and now you are being faced with a situation where you have to punish them? What happens then? If you got away with it, how could you punish them? Now you're just a hypocrite if you don't do anything. All that being said, asking me right now, face to face, mano a mano, do I believe something's going to happen? The answer is no. I do not believe anything is going to happen. Endeavor has been silent. Reporters have asked the UFC for a comment on this. They have said, I shit you not, refer to the TMZ article. This is a major league sports organization telling reporters to refer to a TMZ article for further comment on the president of the company involved in something like this.